Namaskar. I am Arjun Best. Welcome you all today for a long-awaited session. Today we are honored with the presence of Major General VPS Bhakuni to share his thought and guide us. A war veteran and a highly decorated officer, he had been a commandant and the president of Selection Center South, India, Bangalore, and the GOC of the Garud Division. He has an extensive experience of selecting officers for Army, Navy, and Air Force. Headed the selection board for 3 years. I welcome you, sir, to guide the aspiring officers to serve the Indian Defense Services. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. What a wonderful opportunity to talk to the youth of Uttarakhand. I'm very, very happy to have this wonderful opportunity, and particularly more so because the youth of Uttarakhand are the keenest to join the armed forces. Boys and girls, you may be aware that from Uttarakhand, we have the highest number of youth in the armed forces. That I'm saying from population to applicant ratio wise. I mean, population to soldiers wise. The Uttarakhand has highest ratio. It is a small state, lesser population, yet in comparison, you have the highest number of youth in the armed forces. And the best part of the Uttarakhand is you ask anyone, I think 90% of the cases, the first choice is the armed forces. Either he wants to become a soldier or he wants to become the armed forces officer. In fact, I belong to a remote place of Uttarakhand, somewhere in Chanoda, in a village called Hirakot. I got inspired at a very early age of my life when I was in class 3 or class 4, simply because I saw virtually every second house had an army soldier. And how I had got inspired because they were talking one day when I was, I think, in class 3 or 4, that see, in our village, we have the highest number of youth in the armed forces, but there is no officer. And I thought in my mind, I'll be the one. And inshallah, God is very kind. And if you have the passion for something, you tend to achieve it. And after about another 15 years or 16 years later, I was the first officer from my area. And along with that, my younger brother also cracked the exam. He became the second one from the village. So, boys and girls, if you have chosen the armed forces as your career option, let me congratulate you. You have chosen the best option. Why I am saying so? I can't see the youth here. If I'm able to see them, it will be better if possible. But nevertheless, it looks like that I'm talking to myself only. But my dear friends, if you are hearing me, if I ask you which is the most popular choice of the youth today in the country, you'll be surprised. I asked him in many forums in the colleges, universities where I go to deliver the talk. And can you believe lots of people tell me, particularly in the South, because the awareness about the armed forces is lacking. They said the corporates is the most popular, or the civil service is the most popular. As you go towards the north, they say, sir, armed forces is the most popular. So neither we are going to hear the South, nor we are going to hear the North. We'll go by the facts and figures. You know, Union Public Service Commission, which conducts the examination for class 1 services. If you check the data today, I recommend you Google it and see it for yourself. Okay. And in the Union Public Service Commission, they have their annual report. Every year they give out an annual report. And if you see the data of the annual report of Union Public Service Commission, you will be amazed. You'll be simply be amazed that the highest number of youth are wanting to join armed forces today. It is the Union Public Service Commission annual report says. For example, I will give you an example. You know, uh, the number of youth who are for the armed forces and for the civil services. I will just give you an example. You know, today, if you see the comparison of the youth opting for the armed forces or for the civil services, there is a vast difference. The number of applicants for the civil services, as per the latest, you can see year after year, the highest is around 9.5 lakh to 10 lakh applicants in a year. Whereas armed forces, you know how many entries are there? There are 19 entries for the armed forces, different entries. And for through civil services, you have only the NDA and you have the CDS. For that, you know how many applicants are there? About 20 lakh. It is varying from 19 to 20 lakh. So applicants for civil services, which is considered the most popular option, and applicant for the armed forces is just double. It simply shows UPSC data shows the armed forces today is the most popular option. Not only that, there is another criteria. One is total number of applicants, which I said armed forces is virtually nearly 19 to 20 lakh. Civil services is 9.5 to 10 lakh. Okay, one. The second criteria is applicant to post ratio. Okay, how many posts are there, and for that post, how many applicants are there? And in that, you'll be surprised the armed forces has the highest ratio, around 800 to 850 for per post. Civil services around 700 to 750. See this. So rest assured, you have chosen the best profession, that is armed forces. Not only that, armed forces, besides that, if I ask you which is the most popular service in the country, let there be no doubt. It's the armed forces. And if I ask you which is the most respected service, is there any doubt on that? Why there is no doubt? Because all the surveys which have been done by the various newspapers, magazine, etc., has graded armed forces as number one. So there also we are far ahead of the other services. Okay. Now, most respected, if I see most adventurous service, you know, so in that, of course, there is no doubt the armed forces has to be the most adventurous service. See the best of lifestyle, armed forces again come very far ahead of the other services. And one more thing which you guys may not be aware of, the youth who may be in the 10th, 11th, or 12th class, or maybe in the graduate, who may be applying to crack the examination. And do you know which is the most difficult examination? I'm going to give you a breaking news kind of thing. Yes, as far as the written test is concerned, the civil services is the most difficult exam. But the moment you combine this written examination with the interview, because armed forces has an SSB, Service Selection Board interview, which is for 5 days, and whereas the civil services had just about 40 minutes to 1 hour interview. Ours is 5 days. And our selection rate is just 3.6% in the interview. Whereas in the civil service, even if you get less marks, you will get some other service, lower grade service, you hardly is going to, be rejected outrightly because of the interview. Yes, there may be few cases of that also. But you saw here, the interview service selection board is considered the toughest exam to crack. If you combine the written test and the selection board, then armed forces become the most difficult exam to crack. Even more difficult than the IIT, more difficult than the civil services. You can see this. I can prove it to you. It is not because of the written test. It is combined it with the SSB. Okay, then it becomes the most difficult kind of exam to crack. Now let me tell you another great aspect, which is the high-speed service. You check the pay scales. In any case, armed forces is number one service, and the pay scale wise, because of our field allowances, because of the military service pay in which you get a DA also. Armed forces officers get the best pay to begin with, let me tell you this. And the first pay you'll be getting at the age of 21 years. Okay, generally NDA guys and CDS guys get commission between 20 and a half to 21 and a half or 22 maximum, usually. You will be getting at the age of 21 a pay of around 1,18,500. That's the pay. And tell me, is there any corporate gives you that? Is there any government service also gives you that? So armed forces have the highest pay. Okay, you cannot imagine that kind of. I mean, the corporates these days. I will give you interesting data. I was in the selection board having I've interviewed hundreds, thousands of people. And to my surprise, now youth are virtually, you know, shifting from corporates to the armed forces. Large number of youth I have interviewed personally from TCS, Accenture, Infosys, and numerous other Wipro, better companies. Because there they get maximum, even if they are highly placed to 50, 60,000. But they don't get such kind of pay with such kind of lifestyle, such kind of respect, such kind of job where you are doing a great service to the nation. Okay, guys, look at this. This is only the armed forces. So you guys have actually done the best thing by opting for the armed force. Now we come to the aspect two, how to get into the armed forces. I told you 19 entries. Certain entries are through the written examination, like your NDA, like your FCAT, like your CDS, like your INET for all the three services. And certain entries are direct without any written examination, like the technical entry, like the NCC entry, the education officers who become the JAC branch officers. Likewise, there are numerous entries which are direct, whereas you come straightway in the selection board without you meet the basic criteria, like also the TS technical entry scheme, which is after 12. Look at this. Such entries are different. Okay, they straightway come for the SSB. So you better study these 19 entries. It's Google, you have to just Google, and you can go to our website, SSB Short Academy website. You go, you will get all this data. Okay. In fact, numerous of our videos, if you see, has covered this, which are the entries and how you can opt for these entries. All the details have been given by us. Okay, guys? So choose the best entry depending on your age. And the best thing, you crack the written examination of NDA, will be very good. Your chances of selection will be pretty high if you crack the written examination. And simply, you can also, besides NDA, you can, if you are a graduate, you can apply for CDS. But let me tell you, selection boards are not that easy as you may be thinking. It's absolutely, you got to prepare very, very hard for it. You got to think about it right from now. Okay? I have told you the selection rate is just 3.6%. 100 people who go for an interview, can you believe 96 to 97% go back? Only 3.6% is the selection rate. Are you that kind of person? We call it. Do you have the 3.6% mindset? If you have that kind of mindset, you can get through in the armed forces. What is that 3.6% mindset? Ask me the question, I will answer, because I don't want to digress now. If somebody asks me, I will explain that. So boys and girls, now we come to the selection process. The selection process of the armed forces is unique. It's based on Indian philosophy of manasa, vacha, and karma. Mind, word, and action. All these three domains are entirely separate domains. That's the reason in the SSB you are tested by three different techniques. What are these three different techniques? Mind, the deeper level of your consciousness, deeper level of your personality. That's called the mind. Okay? This is the domain of the psychologist. The psychologist will see you through various tests, which you may not be aware of as of now. Okay, particularly there are four tests: the thematic perception test, in which you write 12 stories; the WAT word association test, in which you write sentences on 60 words; and of course, you have the situation reaction test, which is called SRT, in which you write down 60 reactions, okay, 60 situations and your reactions in 30 minutes. And WAT, you get just about 15 minutes to do 60 words. And in TAT, you get 4 minutes to write each word. And thereafter, something called SD, self description test. You write about your own self. What do you think about yourself? What your parents think about yourself? What your friends think about yourself? What your teachers think about yourself? Understood? So this is what is this psychological domain, the domain of your mind. Manasa. This is tested by independent technique, independent psychologist. Now you come to Vacha, that is word. That's the domain of the interviewing officer, who will interview you for good about 40 minutes to 1 hour. And he will virtually X-ray your personality. He can see your blind spots. He can even see which officer-like quality you possess, which you do not possess. Based on that, in your officer-like qualities, he is going to give you marks, and based on that, you will get selected, oblique rejected. Okay, that's the Vacha for you. Okay, the Man is your subconscious test of your subconscious mind, but Vacha is your conscious mind. And the third domain is called action. That's the domain of your GTO, group testing officer. What you actually do on ground. Okay? The GTO is going to watch you. It is also called the observational technique. He is going to observe you. And you have 9 tasks to perform in 2 days. Okay, guys? So he will see you through. And these 9 tasks are divided into the basic series, where we have 4 tasks, and the confirmatory series, where we have 4 tasks, another 4 tasks, and then you have the final series, where you have 1 task, the final group task. Okay, so these 3 techniques are independent, but all the 3 techniques are doing the same thing. They are observing or analyzing or assessing, rather, these 15 officer-like qualities in you. What are these 15 officer-like qualities? Okay. Now, the question has also come from Ashok Upreti. What are the basic components of selection in SSB? Yes, this is what I am exactly covering. Upreti ji, I am covering exactly that. So these 3 techniques, these are the 3 components which are going to assess your officer-like qualities. Now, what are these officer-like qualities? Very interesting. Okay. This also, there are 15 officer-like qualities. Okay. Now, the first thing is called the qualities of head. See this. And very important factor. It is also called factor 1. Qualities of head. In that, 4 qualities come. What are these 4 qualities? Okay. This is called affective intelligence, the first one, which is your practical intelligence. How you solve day-to-day problems and the complex problems also. Do you have that kind of practical intelligence to solve these issues, solve these problems which you encounter? You need common sense and practical approach for it. So do you have this affective intelligence, we call it, in the parlance of SSB? That is the first quality. What is the second one? It is called your reasoning ability. Do you have that analytical ability? Do you have that logical ability? Do follow the logics? Okay. Are you able to comprehend the problem properly? So this is what is your reasoning ability. Okay. More about this, you can see my video and you'll get in detail. You should understand all these qualities. Now, the third one is your organizing ability. How you organize various things, how you organize right from yourself, how you organize your own life, own routine. And if given a task to organize a particular function, how do you organize it? Do you really go into the details? Do you see all the pros and cons? Okay, do you evaluate the problem properly and then go about it? Okay, so that's your organizing ability. Okay, and the fourth one is your power of expression, which is whether you are able to communicate with clarity of mind or not. Are you able to convey your thoughts clearly, precisely, briefly? मैं भेजी हूँ बोले कि मैसेज दे दो कि क्या हुआ. Hello, guys. Can you hear me or not? Can, because there is a storm going on here in Bangalore because after effects of this cyclone. So okay, you guys can hear me. That's sorry for this disturbance. It is just beyond the control. In fact, in our house there is a backup light. Otherwise, there is no light here in Bangalore because of this storm going on. Okay, so I was telling you the factor one, which is called the qualities of your head, and the factor two, which is very, very important again, is your qualities of your heart. What kind of man you are, a genuinely good person or not? Okay, That's what the qualities of heart are. And in the qualities of heart, guys, in the qualities of heart, you know how many qualities come in that? In that, you have three qualities. They are very important. The first is your social adaptability. How do you adapt to different situations? How do you adjust with your peers, with your juniors, with your seniors, with new people? And how do you adapt to the new situations? Because in the armed forces, you got to go from one corner to another. Someday you are in Arunachal Pradesh, next day you are in Madras, Chennai, third time you are in Ladakh, you interact with different people. Your adaptability factor has to be very good, and you are posted from one place to another every 2 3 years. So that's your social adaptability, social adjustment. And the second quality in the factor two is the qualities of heart, is cooperation. How do you cooperate? Are you a team member or not? In a team, how do you interact? How do you adjust yourself? How do you cooperate? Do you keep the team's interest supreme more than your own? That's what this cooperation means. And third qualities is also very, very important. That's called your sense of responsibility. How responsible you are. Okay, do you assume the responsibility properly? Or like anybody who, when nobody's watching you break the traffic rule, it means you have no sense of responsibility. A chap who has sense of responsibility will not break any rule. Whether he's seen or not, he will wait. Okay? Otherwise, people look, कोई देख तो नहीं रहा. So he has low sense of responsibility. Okay? Now we come to the factor three. Factor three is called your qualities of your guts. Also, you can call it leadership qualities. It is social effectiveness, how effective you are as a leader. Okay? And in that, we have five qualities. Very interesting again. The first quality is your initiative. Do you take initiative or not? Do you raise your hand? Do you take the first step? Do you volunteer? Okay, to resolve a problem, or you just watch, let somebody take the first step? Are you the one who takes the first step first? So that's initiative for you. And the second quality in that is your self-confidence, how confident you are of yourself. Okay, that's your confidence. Okay, and the third quality in that is speed of decision. How quickly you analyze in your mind and how quickly you take the decision, because that's a very important quality of an army officer or of a leader. That's speed of decision. And the fourth quality is your ability to influence the group. How do you influence the people around you, your team, your subordinates, your soldiers? Are you able to impress them? Are you able to influence them? If the leader is not able to influence them, who the hell is going to bother about him? So you got to be impressive. You got to be smart. You got to be good so that people listen to you. So that is your ability to influence the group. And the fifth quality is also very, very important. That's called your liveliness, how happy you are with yourself. Okay? How happy and how lively you are. Whenever you face difficulties, does your morale go down? Or you create happiness in that also? Are you the one who thinks that only when the goal is reached, then you'll be happy? No, a leader is happy during the journey also. You enjoy every bit of your journey also. Your struggle also you enjoy. And you create a wonderful, happy environment around you. Okay? That's what a leader is. That's what the liveliness factor is all about. That's factor three for you. Qualities of your guts. And the fourth is qualities of your limbs. What does limbs mean? It means your dynamism, how dynamic you are. Are you dynamic as a leader? In that, again, there are three qualities. The first is your determination, how determined you are, how dedicated you are. How is your commitment? Are you really a committed person? or you leave it half-heartedly. The moment you find the wind is blowing in opposite direction and leave the job, or you withdraw. So that is a determination for you. A guy who thinks that he's going to crack the ND examination, come what may, he will crack it. He'll work hard for it. Otherwise, another chap in his place will just give it up. यार मेरी बस की बात नहीं छोड़ो. He will look for excuses. He will look for easier routes. And the second quality in factor 4 is your courage. How courageous you are. And courage is of two types. Your physical courage, yes, to accomplish any tasks which are maybe very, very difficult. You know, physically, you do not bother about the exhaustion, and you have that stamina, physical fitness to achieve. That is physical courage. And you have the moral courage to take a stand, even in front of your seniors, for the sake of your soldiers, or you for the sake of your subordinates, or for the sake of what is right and what is wrong. You take a stand. That's called the moral courage. And the last quality in that is your stamina, physical stamina and mental stamina. Of course, you guys understand that. What do we mean by physical stamina and mental stamina? Physical stamina is how physically fit you are. Okay? And mental stamina, how much you can work. If you have to work the whole night, you should be able to work. You should be able to work the whole night also. And 2-3 days. That will talk about your stamina. Okay? Boys and girls, these are the officer-like qualities which we are going to test you in the SSB. The same thing is done by the psychologist. The same thing is done by the GTO. The same thing is done by interviewing officer. We individually assess these qualities. And on the final conference day, we discuss it. Okay. Now, as far as the SSB procedure is concerned, these days, since 1998, we have added the screening process. I must tell you because large number of candidates fail in that. What is the screening process? The screening process is you come to the SSB a night before, or in certain SSB you report early in the morning, and you go through a test. This test consists of your officer intelligence rating test, which is called OIR, which is a reasoning ability test. You excel in that, okay? And you got to reasonably do well in that. The second thing is called PPDT, Picture Perception and Description Test. You are shown a picture, you see it for 30 seconds, and you get 4 minutes to write a story on that. Okay, guys? And in the 4 minutes, you write that story, and then you go in a group, in a separate hall, in a group of 15 odd people. And in that hall, there are two things happening. One is narration of the story, and the second is the group discussion. Now, what is narration and what is discussion? Narration, you get 1 minute. In that, you narrate the story which you have written. And you got to narrate it precisely, to the point, and briefly, making an impact, ensuring that you look at your fellow colleagues, okay? Look them in the eyes and you narrate it, how confidently you narrate the story in 1 minute. And the second thing is your group discussion to reach to a common story. How do you contribute? Are you able to take initiative? Are you able to speak and give some logical points and contribute your bit to reach to a common story? Okay, how you contribute to reach to a common story is your second part. So you got to do well in your narration, you got to do well in your group discussion particularly, of course in your OIR, and you got to write a relevant story. So these 4 things will decide whether you get screened in or you get screened out. Otherwise, first day only, about half the people go back. They fail in the screening test. So armed forces is a very, very challenging offer. It's not that easy. Remaining things, I think I will clarify in the doubts. Let me also tell you, for the Lots of boys and girls from Uttarakhand are attending my classes, and let me tell you, I got a wonderful package. And guys from Uttarakhand are very dear to my heart. I can go an extra mile for them. Remember, there are two compulsory courses of mine which you must do. You must do. You have no choice, because you will not be able to crack if you don't do that. One is a 5 days SSB course of mine. You better opt for. There are a number of guys from Ardwani who have done it. Okay. Okay. So, and the second is, in these 5 days, I will explain to you how to crack the SSB in detail. Okay. And you will understand, comprehend the whole procedure of the SSB, including the entire GTO task, how to crack that, psychological test, how to write the stories and all that. Of course, your interview, how to face the interview board, how to crack the screening, everything will be told to you. The second thing is a 4 days personality development course. It's a 4 days. Because after that, I will give you such a task that for 1 month, you will practice the same thing at home. Rather than keeping you busy for 1 month, I do it in 4 days. Your personality will be transformed. So these two courses are compulsory for you. If you are going for the SSB, you can opt for my interview. Okay, I take interviews, and there is a huge line for the interviews. In fact, this evening I'm doing a psychological test. At 6:15 every day, I do one interview or one psychological test, not more than that. In the morning, I'm busy either in the personality development class, which is of 1.5 hours, or the SSB class, which is of 2 hours every day. So these classes we do. So you have the choice. And if you guys are weak in English, we have an English speaking course for 14 days. You can apply for that. It is online. All these courses are online, I'm talking about. I'm not telling you anything these days, particularly. And if you want to crack the written examination, you name a written examination, FCAT, INET, CDS, NDA, we have the written classes, which our educators will guide you while you are sitting at home. A class is around 20 to 30. We take usually not more than 30. So in that, your doubts are clarified. Every day you'll be attending the class. And this class goes for 40 to 45 days at an absolutely nominal price. And in fact, if Vishti says, I can give you further concession. Don't worry, for Uttarakhand, my job is not to earn money. We have got lots of other students. We will give you further concession. And anybody from below poverty line from Uttarakhand will get full 50% discount, further discount. And during this Corona period, because of this lockdown, in any case, we have reduced our prices to 50%. You see that, and they are at a very cheap rate, anything from 1100 to 1800. Where will you get this great facility? Okay, guys, that's a wonderful opportunity for you, and you will be guided and mentored personally by me. And this is a passion for me to train the youth, to motivate the youth. Now I'm going to tell you. If there is no question, if there are questions, I would answer. Otherwise, I will tell you something. What is the 3.6% mindset? I will tell you. I will wait for question first.
Sir, with your permission, we will take the question at the end of the session. We have some questions received. So I think in the last 20 minutes, we will have the questions.
Oh, no problem. Then I can continue something more.
Sure,
Shall I?
sure.
Okay. Okay, guys, I'm telling you the most important part of my this interaction is this lecture. What is this most important? Now I can tell you whether you will make it in the SSB or not. Right now, I can tell you this with my experience, because I have done a research on this. It is called 3.6% mindset. What is it? Guys, I was wondering why certain people pass, certain people, even for the good family background, fail. What is the reason for it? So I realized this study, this research of mine, ultimately led me to 6 qualities, which I called it 3%, 3.6% mindset. If you have these 6 qualities, I can give you in writing, you'll pass. Nobody can stop you. What is the first? I will simplify this for you. The first is your dream, oblique your goal. or shall I call it your mission? Do you have a goal? Do you have a mission in your life? So, the first thing is whether you have a goal in your life or not, and when have you made this goal in your life? If you have made this goal very early in your life, then it's very good for you. Otherwise, people lead their entire life without having a goal or a dream in their life. The first thing is having a dream in your life. Do you have a dream? And when did you make this dream or a goal? Did you make it now just for appearing the exam of the SSB? Or did you make it like me in third class or fifth class? The earlier you make this goal or a dream, the better it is for you. If you have made it in sixth, seventh, eighth class, then your chances of cracking SSB are far more. If you are now just thought of making it, still you may get success, but you know the chances may not be that bright. Now, what is the second quality? The second quality is your passion for the dream. How much passion you have for your goal, for your dream. Because it is passion which drives you towards your dream. Okay? So passion is the second. More the passion you have, the more the chances of cracking your dream. And the third quality follows or emanates from your passion. Passion leads to the third quality that's called planning and action. Planning and action cannot be separated. You plan, and if you take action, then only it is called worthwhile. Planning and action go hand in hand. So the third quality which comes out from the passion is your planning and action. That is the third quality you should have. Okay. What is the fourth quality? The fourth quality is I consider it the most important quality. That's called your commitment. Commitment to your goal. A normal person, if he is not able to achieve, if he fails once or twice, he may thereafter not be able to get up. Okay? Because he has failed. And a chap who's committed to his goal will rise and rise again. Failures will be a kind of stepping stone for him. He will not accept. Because in life, you fail only if you accept it. You will not fail otherwise. If you have got up again after the failure, you have not failed. You keep getting up. And you got to get up one extra time than the number of times you fall. So commitment is the most important quality because you will not get disturbed by these minor failures which will act as a stepping stone for you. And what is the fifth quality? Fifth quality is your faith. Faith in yourself and faith in the Almighty God. How much faith you have in yourself and how much faith you have in the Almighty God. Okay? Because if you have faith in the Almighty God, then you get that kind of support which otherwise you can never. God is in your support. To have faith in Almighty God, your faith in yourself will enhance. Okay? Your confidence in yourself will enhance. So having faith in yourself and in the God is a must. That is the fifth quality you should have. And the last, but not the least, is your attitude. What I mean to say is your positive attitude. You've got to be positive under all circumstances. If you are positive, again, then nothing can stop you. Okay? You don't have to lower your morale. You'll meet negative people talking ill of you. Why to bother? You focus on your goal and carry on. Lots of people keep talking nasty things. But a chap who has positive attitude, he will take everything positively and focus on his goal and move on. So guys, that was the 6 secrets of success. And that is by the research of the SSB students only, which I had made personally. This is my formula of success. So keep that in your mind always, and let me tell you, success will be yours if you follow these 6 points, if you inculcate these 6 qualities in yourself, then nothing can stop you. Okay, boys and girls from Uttarakhand, from Haldwani, I'm open to the questions, and I can make a good group for you, WhatsApp group. I will put somebody, if there are more keen people for the commission, I can depute somebody of mine, some uh, officer of mine or some executive of mine who can make a WhatsApp group and keep on guiding you guys. Okay, let me
Thank you.
see some
Thank you,
good.
sir. So we have a question. To start with, we have a question from Kiran Pandey. She asked that the interview process for the women is same for men and women both, or is different?
Okay, okay, guys, let me tell you this. There is a lot of confusion about the interview process, whether it is same for girls or the boys, whether it is same for a particular entry or another entry. Let me tell you, there is absolutely no difference as far the interview process is concerned. For that matter, the SSB is concerned. Service Selection Board process for the Army, Navy, Air Force is absolutely same. Except for Air Force, you have for pilot, you have PABT test. Some additional tests may be incorporated for certain, but we get trained together in the selection process. Army, Navy, Air Force. That's why you have Air Force separate boards, but Army, Navy are mixed, and the selection board process is the same. Though Air Force boards are separate because of their PABT test, but otherwise they also get trained with us. The selection process, SCV process remains same for them also. Okay, let there be no doubt, it will be the same. Yeah.
To add to this question, I also request you to guide the viewers regarding the examinations like NDS, CDS are also open for the women entry, or are there any other examinations for the direct entry for the women as an officer into the Indian Defense Services?
Okay, guys, let me tell you the first thing first. As far as your all you guys who wants to opt for different entries, the main entries, there are 19 entries. Covering 19 entries now will virtually cover my 1 hour. But what are the main entries? You should know that. The women entries are different. They are mostly from technical side. After doing their technical graduation, the women can apply directly for SSB. The women after NCCC certificate, there are certain vacancies for them. They can apply directly without going through the written examination. The women can apply for the JAC branch. Again, after doing their law, they can directly opt for. The women can opt for education branch. Same goes after doing the post graduation based on the marks. Ultimately, they come for the SSB, and later on, they SSB will be the same for all the entries of women also. Now, the main examinations are 12th class entry, NDA, which you guys are more interested in. NDA, the written is absolutely difficult. That's why we have an online coaching course. You better think that if you can prepare yourself, fine. Otherwise, right from the beginning of sport, the online courses are generally a month and a half, 2 months. You can apply for, and you crack the written examination and then go. That is for NDA for you. Another exam, which is technical entry scheme, which is 12th pass. If you get around 80, 85%, it fluctuates, merit fluctuates. Sometimes it stops at 80, 81. Nowadays, it is gone up 83, 84. All those who are shortlisted are called directly for the interview, which is called the technical entry scheme. So 12 pass. Then graduate, I told you, you have a serious entry, combined defense services. Again, you got to crack the written examination for that. Okay, mainly these are the entries and more. You can just see our website. Everything will be there, or you can see the website of the recruiting directory. You will get all this data as readily available these days online. Okay, guys. So those are the entries for you. Yeah.
One more question, sir, we have. Uh, there's a question from Arun Rawat from Chandigarh. Sir, I have seen that if you are selected in a first chance with the SSB, then it's okay. Otherwise, the chances of getting selected becomes very rare in three, fourth, or fifth SSB. Is it? Am I right, sir? It's asking.
Okay. He's partially right. Boys and girls, yes. Remember this. First chance is a golden chance. It's better when you appear, better get through in the first chance. Work hard in the very first chance. Because as you go by, gradually things become more and more difficult. Why it becomes more and more difficult, tell me? You know what happens? All these people who are not able to make it, the degree of difficulty for them in the subsequent chances becomes a little more. Okay, but he may not be correct that you do not pass in the second attempt, third attempt. No, lots of guys pass. In fact, just to give you the broad figures, 60% of the people who pass second or third attempt, third, fourth, fifth, 60%, 40% pass in their first attempt. So more people pass in the subsequent attempts. So that is also the fact. But it is easier. You know, why to go through all that? Prepare hard for the first attempt and get through. But don't say that you don't get through in the second attempt. You get through in the third attempt, you get through in the fourth attempt. There are people who get through in the 13th attempt. So, you know, it's better if you, first time you are going, you better be prepared. You know, first time people do not know, guys do not know what are they going for. And in the bargain, since they do not know the process, they fail. It's better to go well prepared. Okay, but it will also be wrong to say that you don't pass in your second, third attempt. You are equally, your chances are equally high if you work hard, if you overcome your past shortcomings. Yeah, any other question?
There is a question from Satyam Sinha from Patna. He is asking that there is an apprehension that most of the selections are for the wards of the army officer. So is it true, sir, that the army officer wards are more selected when compared to the civilian wards?
Okay. It's absolutely wrong because I have been part of the board selection process. Absolutely wrong. This is a misconception, oblique, a kind of rumor which is floating around. No, I will give you the facts and figures. In a particular course, actually, it was checked. I remember the figures. The 27% were out of the army wards. 27% were JSOs and NSO children in a particular course who had got through. Army officers' children were 6%. 6%. I remember this. Okay, 6% were. So it is absolutely wrong because a guy, let me tell you, army officers or JSO children are mostly from Sanic schools, RIMC, which are very premier institutes of the armed forces, military schools. Obviously, a guy who has been in a military environment for 11 years or 7, 8 years, his chances, he understands the armed forces better. Therefore, the selection rate from military schools, from RIMC, okay, Rashtriya Indian Military College, are far more. But it is absolutely wrong to say that all the most of the army officers children get selected. In spite of being in the army environment, a large number of them fail. And let me tell you, this I can watch for, I can give in writing. There is no such differentiation at all. In fact, senior army officer children, they complain to us. Yeah, what's wrong with you guys? You know, all army officer children are facing. I have heard this kind of remark many times. Because army officer children sometimes, particularly senior officer children, they start taking things easy. And in the bargain, they are not going to make it. So, you know, don't say that. I've seen army commanders' sons and daughters failing. What to talk? He is next to the chief. I've seen number of them failing. So it is entirely not on truth, based on truth. Yeah, anything else?
Yeah, we have Piyush Pandey from Almora. He says that recently one of my friend is temporarily rejected from SSB. So what are the chances that he will be selected?
Yeah, very bright. What happens, you know, you get temporarily rejected based on medical grounds. Based on medical grounds. So what happens? You, after thorough medical examination, if they have found some lacuna in you, they will give you the right to appeal. And he must have appealed already. After a month or two, he will go to another to the medical authorities of a particular military hospital, and he will be examined thoroughly again. And let me tell you, 60 to 70% of these appeals, they are through positively. They are resolved positively. So Piyush tell him that his chances are very, very bright until he's got some serious defect in him. Remember, in the selection process, we consider as selectors, since I've been part of the selection process, I've been the interviewing officer, being the president, and being the commandant of the selection center. So I can say this. And all our decisions are for the good of the organization. If anywhere we feel that this decision is perhaps not going to sort of be helpful for the organization, not be in the interest of the organization, we'll never take that decision. So whether we pass or fail, the organization will always be the winner. That's the basic focus of all selectors. Yeah.
So, for the benefit of the viewer, can we also add that what are the areas on which the candidate is given the TR, and what is the process for appealing?
Okay, it's a very, very simple, boys and girls. If you face very, very few, 1 or 2% people face this kind of scenario, very few. And the process is so good that when you go in the medical, they will give you a format. Can you believe it? This situation. Okay, this is where, at this place, this is how, and this is where you will appeal. You will appeal in the Lucknow Command Hospital, or you will apply. Most likely, that boy may have been given Lucknow, and it is nearest from your home, or maybe Delhi. So he will go in the base hospital Delhi, or in the command hospital Lucknow, and he will go to that particular branch with those papers which has been given by this hospital. He has to carry that paper along. Everything is written, and you are told. And the moment you give that paper, they will accept you, and they will recheck you, and after that, they will give you a paper that you are selected, and send a copy to the concerned selection board or recruiting director that you are actually through, and then your name will come in the merit. Okay, guys. Yeah.
Mamta Pargai from Pithoragarh says, "Thank you, sir, for giving us so insight." Also, she asked about the CPSS, Computerized Pilot Selection System.
Yeah, that's called a PABT test. That boy has missed it. It's a bit complicated. Commenting on the pilot aptitude test, because I am a non-pilot, will be little difficult for me. But for my candidates, can you believe on 17th of this month, I had requested a pilot, you know, here in Bangalore, who took an online class for PABT test. So tell this boy, this class is again going to take place most likely on 29th of this month. He should remain in touch. All those guys who are appearing for the Air Force can be in touch with us. Okay, that's why I will. If you have about 8, 10 a WhatsApp group, I will detail my executive. He will become part of your group, and BestG can also be part of that group. These free classes we organize from time to time. This entire PABT test was conducted on 17th. Now it is again on popular demand on 29th. I remember most likely 99% it is on 29th. I'm forgetting the date. It's a free class. You better immediately opt for that. All those guys who want to see this, know more about the Air Force, this class will brief you about the Air Force, will brief you about that PABT. Opt for this class. Okay? You guys can make your WhatsApp group and include BestG in that, and I will put my executive on the job, and he thereafter will take over your guidance. Okay, make maximum of the armed forces optees part of that group. Yeah, anything else?
We will take two, three more questions, sir. One question is from the Subendra Bist from our Facebook page. He says that which candidate selected by the board is the best fit for the job?
It is basically the best candidate is that one, because I told you, it is a three technique based system. The best candidate is who has been passed by all the three. There are guys who are passed by two, failed by one, and they can make it. Depending on in the conference, that discussion takes place, and the person who has failed him also comes up for that man. So he can pass. In rare cases, there may be a case where two have failed him, one has passed him, yet he can pass. Provided the remaining two have given him reasonably good marks but failed him, and they are in the conference discussion, they are ready to come up for him. Yes, we find him. The problem with him is our minus, and the training will improve him. If you have this kind of remark for you, you can even pass. That is called 1-2 decision or 2-1 decision or best decisions, as he said. a candidate who has been passed by all the three. This is called a 3-0 decision. Okay?
Very interesting question has been received from Punjab. Virender Singh from Punjab wanted to ask the officers who are there in the SSB, like interviewing officer, GTO, or the president of the board, are they given any training before they are given this responsibility?
Yeah, yeah. Let me tell you, there is a thorough training. Even at me, before going as a commandant, I also took the training. There are training is in two phases. One phase is done in Delhi, which is conducted by DIPR. Okay, so DIPR trains the Army, Navy, Air Force, all the officers we get together in Delhi. And after the theoretical training, then we come for another training. This training for about a month, 26 days to 1 month. And after that, we come for practical leg. I came here in Bangalore. I was here for more than 2 months. So it's a thorough training. And you have to pass it. And a lot of the officers often fail in that. If you do not have the right aptitude, you are not selected as an assessor. So it's a difficult process. You just don't become assessor just like that. You have to have an aptitude for it. You got to pass this test. You got to pass the theory test separately, and you got to pass the practical test separately. If you pass in both, then you are selected as an assessor, and then you come in the selection board. Yeah. Any other question?
One more question, sir. There is a question. How do the psychology of the candidate matters in the SSB? And if it is matters, the candidate's going to twice or thrice for the SSB, what are the chances that the candidate can manipulate the psychology in front of the interviewer?
Okay, guys, it's a rather difficult. Yes, all the qualities are trainable. All the qualities can be trained. Even if you have some psychological issues, it will take time, but you can overcome that. Because selection process, remember, is a personality based test. It depends on your personality. What kind of personality you have? Ultimately, whole focus is on personality. Now you may be having, because psychological tests are a domain of your subconscious mind. How from your childhood you have been brought up? What have been your accumulated memories? What kind of habits you have formed over a period of time? How do you react to different situations? What are your inbuilt habits? So this is your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind is basically your accumulated thoughts, your accumulated habits, and it will react in a particular manner. It's difficult to change so easily. So that's why this class, this will train you in the personality development test. But at the same time, personality can be improved. You need guidance, you need mentoring for that. And that's what we do in our personality development test. We tell the candidate how he can improve his personality. But at the same time, good thing about the personality is it can be improved. A person can virtually transform. So there are various tests we tell him, and by regularly practicing those, he can really improve himself. Okay. In fact, this is the main focus of this our personality development test: how to improve your personality. And if you do that, not only SSB, you'll be a success in your life. It is not. There are civil services parent attend my personality development class. Okay, why they attend? Because it's basically, if you want to be a successful man in your life, you better understand yourself. Understanding yourself is the most important. If you do not understand your strength and weaknesses, how the hell are you going to improve upon? You've got to understand yourself. You got to do your SWOT analysis. Okay, and based on that, we explain to you that, and it's a time-consuming process. Minimum 21 days are required to start forming a habit, and minimum 66 days are required for complete transformation. If you want to change a particular habit, it takes 66 days. Okay, but from 21 days, there will be a change which will start happening in you. Okay, guys, any other question? Otherwise, I leave it
So
to
we'll
Mr.
take,
Best.
so we'll take the last question for today, sir, before we end up the session. Uh, the Sprinka Mehra wanted to ask, like, what are the major physical deformities or the problems which can make the rejection of the candidate, so that they should know before appearing for the examination or preparing for it, like the bottom line and the top line, like vision or the flat foot and many other things.
Okay, you are basically talking about the medical. Let me tell you, as far as the medical issues are concerned, unless you have you can easily, a person knows about his medical until unless you have some serious anomalies inside, you know, something to do with your heart, something to do with pancreas, something to do with the liver, something to do with your lungs or something. Mostly, even a bit of knocking knee, even flat food. How you define, how a doctor defines are different. So if you have some, if you do not have some serious anomalies, your chances of selection are pretty good, and very few candidates get rejected in the medical, let me tell you. And here in the SSB, that's why we keep a doctor with us. We have a doctor in our panel. Therefore, all such doubts are, taken care of by our doctor. But you'll be very happy to hear within this week, our doctor's video about the medical test is being released. Please wait for that. And I have more than 125 videos. Better see them. Okay, better watch all these videos. Your half the training is done, and remaining half, then you can contact the SSB Short Academy. Will take care of you. I have done everything which was not there in the open domain. I have tried to make it free and put it in my videos, which was a truth which candidates were not done. Similarly, about the medical thing, our video is getting released within this week. And I will recommend you need not to worry about the medical. I said ki there are 1 or 2% errors in the medical, and most of them haven't get through in the appeal. Okay, guys? Yeah, anything else? Mr.
Uh,
Best?
Thank you, sir, for taking our questions. And
Okay.
I also thank you on behalf of my viewers for
Okay.
enriching us, giving insight to us for this prestigious exam, prestigious services. And we are hopeful to have you again on our platform. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you, guys. What a wonderful it was to speak to my state people. I accepted this offer since I was talking to my own people.
Thank
And wonderful talking to you. Remain in touch and we'll be together. I'm going to be there to mentor you, to help you out. Not to worry, I will be available. God bless and bye bye from my side. Have a great day. And may you get your dream achieved in a very short period of time. My passion is to make you achieve your own dream. Goodbye and God bless.